Hi everyone, welcome back to the Euros channel. So today I just wanted to do a video that is super simple. It's just going to be a few minutes, but I just wanted to be able to offer some encouragement to you. So I am actually vlogging today, and we just got done with a powerful podcast episode that I cannot wait for you guys to get to listen to, but also it'll be hopefully available here on the channel as well. I am so excited to have you guys listen to that episode because him and his wife went through a really tough health battle and have been going through a tough health battle for the last 6 years. This man is on dialysis and he's a minister, has traveled while on dialysis, gone to places like Cuba, and has just really made the most of the situation that he is in, which is why I wanted to do this video, because it really inspired this idea in me. And really the thought that's in my mind is this the end? So the reason that I've been asking myself this question is because we can go through some really tough battles in our lives. For example, Daniel and I, my husband, he's been through a really tough battle with dialysis. COVID almost took his life. We talk about it all the time here, and I will link down below a podcast episode where we go really into detail of his story and how his kidneys failed and now he's living on dialysis and needs a kidney transplant. So I will link that podcast episode down below if you're really curious about all the details of the story. But it really has been a crazy hard time in our lives. I've never gone through anything this hard. This has been the hardest season of my life to date. But I am so... I have experienced so much that I just want to share it. And it's really interesting because I think my natural human response when you go through something like this, my natural response, probably for some of you as well, is just wanting to shut down, right? Just wanting to, like, I have found myself really depressed. I have felt what deep depression is, where you can't find joy in anything. You can't find it in food. You can't find it in friends. You can't find it in anything. Like, I remember being at my lowest point, going through this situation when my husband really ill. Now I'm a full-time, caretaker for him. And I felt so emotionally unwell, and I don't want to ever go back to that place. But even in the midst of how I was feeling, I just felt this urge, like I needed to share what I was going through because I needed it to help someone else. Like, I don't want my suffering to mean nothing because I didn't want to, share it or share the gospel. Listen, I'm a Christian and I highly believe that God has a purpose for suffering, right? Whether things turn out the way I want them to or they don't turn out the way I wanted them to. Like right now, definitely things are not looking the way I wanted them to. In a way they are. My husband's here. He's alive. He's doing well. Anything that gets thrown at him, he does well and recovers from it. So I am so grateful for that. But we're not in a place where we wanted to be. Like in this season of life, we wanted to be maybe raising our first child. We wanted to be traveling. We wanted to be doing all these fun things that we had planned, all these dreams. But we're living in a season of our lives where we've had to come to a complete stop. We've had to just say we need to rest. We can't travel as much. We can't do much because Daniel has to be on dialysis, and we have to focus on his health, and we have to focus on, getting him recovered and getting all these things done. And it's really hard, especially when you're used to be someone that's on the go, that's constantly moving, and now you have to come to a complete stop. It really is depressing, to be honest with you. But in the midst of all of it, I have found such a hope in my faith in Jesus and him, honestly. It has nothing to do with me. I think people will probably look at me and be like, you almost lost your husband. Your husband's life is still in, jeopardy. He's dealing with a really serious illness, with something so serious like renal failure. And how did you manage to keep your faith in God? How did you manage to stay positive? How did you manage to not lose your mind in the midst of what you went through? It has nothing to do with me, but it has everything to do with God. It has everything to do with how kind he is, and the fact that I think it's honestly my faith in God, his love for me, his goodness towards me that has kept me going. Like in the worst moments possible, I have seen God show up for us financially, in my husband's health and my mental health struggles. I have seen the Lord show up. And I think that that is so pivotal as to why I have continued to keep moving forward despite the setbacks that we have faced. I could be looking at the fact that my husband's kidneys are shot and that his life is constantly in danger, or I could look at the fact that when he was hospitalized and they told me that he would not survive, because when my husband was first hospitalized in February of 2021, I was told he wasn't going to make it. I was told that he was done. I was told that I should prepare for the worst, but Daniel actually made a miraculous recovery in record time. When he was on the ECMO machine, they told me he could probably spend 30 to 45 days on it. He only spent 21 days on it. It did, you know, his heart is in good condition. His lungs are, they told me he would struggle to breathe the rest of his life. We had a trach. His lungs failed really, really bad. It told me that he would never breathe okay again. And yet, here he is. Not a day of shortness of breath in his life. Well, he did face some shortness of breath, but like, he's able to do insane things that we never thought possible. Like like last year, at the end of the year, we took a road trip with our entire family, my mom and my sister and my stepdad and my brother and his kids and my mother-in-law and my brother. Like, we took this massive family trip, and Daniel drove the whole time. He didn't get tired. We were able to go up into the mountains and high elevation, and he did great. Like, it's stuff that shouldn't be, right? Stuff that I was told he would never get to do. I was told he would struggle to breathe. He would need oxygen. Has never needed oxygen, of course, you know, after recovering, and hasn't needed anything like that. And he's mobile. And Daniel actually just started a brand new job in the first week of school, here in the beginning of August. He started a new job as a chapel pastor at a Christian academy in the church that we're going to. And it's like, what? Like, you know, he's working, and no, he's not working full time. And I could, again, find things to complain about, like, you know, his health and our struggles, but I could also be really grateful that we've been able to go on vacations, that God willing, we're in October, we're going to travel to New York, and I am planning on documenting that whole trip because we're traveling with him being on dialysis for the first time. So stay tuned for that. But also, you know, I'm really grateful because we own a home. We're homeowners. We bought our first home when we first got married, and then a year and a half is when he got sick. We own cars, and yes, we have medical debt, and yes, we have like so many struggles, but we're safe. You know, I have an amazing job. I have an amazing outlook on life. I have God. I have hope. You know, there's people out there living with absolutely no hope, and I get to live with hope. And I'm grateful that I have God, and that I have family, and that I have help, and that I have resources. Like, that is something to be grateful for. So I don't want to make this video too long, but I want to encourage you. I don't know what you're going through today. I don't know if you've been diagnosed with a terminal illness, or if someone you love has been diagnosed with a terminal illness. I don't know if you were just giving really bad news, or your spouse, you know, something's going on with your marriage. I don't know. Like, I really don't know what you're going through, if it's with your kids or whatnot. But I want to tell you, no, this isn't the end. If you're going through something, you can turn it into the biggest weapon that you have ever had. Like, you can turn it into your power story. Yes, our lives are very difficult, but I'm going to turn this into a podcast. We have turned this into this YouTube channel, and we're trying to find ways to encourage other people. No, we don't have like this huge, amazing platform, but we're building it, and it's, at the end of the day, just to give God glory. Whatever platform we have is to give the Lord glory. And so that is really the point of what I'm trying to tell you today. Are you going through something terrible? Turn it into your biggest weapon. Turn it into that wake up moment where you're like, you know what? I've had this dream on my heart for so many years. I'm going after it. You know, I've always wanted to start a YouTube channel. Start the channel. Hey, I've always wanted to start the small business. Hey, if you really feel like that's something you need to do, do it. Like, you will never find success if you're constantly scared of some failure. You know, after going through this situation with my husband, I realized, you know, I always wanted to start a podcast, so I'm going to start it. Like, I'm done being scared of things that used to scare me before. Like, I'm just going to go for them. And it's so funny because when you're scared of something, is you're anticipating something bad happening. But when something bad actually does happen, the worst thing possible, you know, my husband almost losing his life, it kind of makes you go like, you know what? All those things I thought were important are not nearly as important as the things that are truly important. Does that make sense? Like, my husband, our health, our you know, our life together, like, that is what truly matters to me most in this world. Like, spending time with him and building a life with him, like, that is really the most important thing to me besides, you know, the Lord. And so that's my encouragement to you today. It is not the end. Take the worst thing that is happening to you and turn it into a weapon. Okay, like turn it into the driving force to start that business, to go after that relationship, to go after that job, to go after the thing that maybe you've told yourself you're not good enough to go after. Screw that, honestly. Screw that. Go for it. Go for the thing that God has called you to do. And that's the most important thing, because our hearts are so deceiving. I'm not telling you go after, it's all about you and your dreams and stuff like that. Like, that's not what I'm trying to say. Like, what I am trying to say, go after what God has been guiding you and pushing you to do. And it could be a business, it could be a relationship, it could be a ministry, like whatever God is asking you to do. And like, maybe you're telling yourself, I'm not good enough, or people have judged you for it. Just go after what God is telling you to do. Like, He is going to give you the success, and that is what matters. But anyways, I hope that you have found this video encouraging. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment down below if you have any questions or if you have any comments about this subject. It's really important that, you know, we encourage each other. We've lived through some hard years here. I think the whole world has. And so it's really important for us to encourage each other, especially in the faith. So I would encourage you guys that we have multiple videos that come out weekly. And so, you know, we vlog and all the things. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you're encouraged, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.